Hi everyone, it's Vic sharing with you a process video for Lottie Loves Paper, and today I wanted to focus on this beautiful die cut 12 by 12 paper that has just been released in the Heidi Swapp Carefree collection. When I saw this, my heart just sung. I absolutely loved it, and I actually bought two just in case I mucked up using one of them. But for this layout, I'm using it as a stencil for my layout. And I'm applying some regular texture paste through the rainbows. Rainbows are everywhere and have been for the last year, and I just love this idea that you can create your own on a piece of paper, as many or as little as you like. So I'm applying it onto some Vicky Boutin mixed media paper, just because I know that I'm going to add a little bit of colour to my layout. And I have gessoed that piece of cardstock first, but I haven't gessoed all of it because my original idea, as you see, I don't go with my original idea in the end. I had this big thought in my head of using these papers here as a bit like a sunburst going out from the top and the bottom of my photograph there, but decided against it in the end. So I do add, as you can see, some more of those stenciled rainbows to the left side of my piece of paper, but just fade them out slightly. But because I've used that Vicky Boutin mixed media cardstock, it's so much thicker and able to handle waters and paints and inks a lot better than a normal cardstock because it doesn't warp so much. So it really didn't matter that it wasn't all gessoed. So as you can see, I've cut out from the sky paper and that really pretty marbled effect paper some sunbursts that I was going to put behind this beautiful photograph of my daughters enjoying their time on the beach in Cornwall. And I absolutely love that photograph of them. It really makes my heart sing. They're happy, they're holding hands. Siblings don't always get on, but they were having a good day, so that was great. And yeah, it just brings back so many happy memories and shows that the bond and love that they have between them. So I'm adding some mixed media to those rainbows now. Didn't want to add a lot of it, and I wanted to try and match the paints in with some of the blues in the collection. So I'm actually using Distress Oxide inks for this. The blue is Salty Ocean and the grey colour I think was Weathered Wood. And what I've done is I've mixed some of it together on an old piece of packaging to the side and added some water to it so that I could mix the colours together and create some of my own colours there. So I've decided to go completely against what I had originally decided to do. It just wasn't working for me. Those sunbursts to me weren't working, and also covered up all of the lovely mixed media and those stenciled rainbows in the background too much. So I've decided instead to focus mainly on my photograph and embellish around it slightly. And the papers in the collection are they're beautiful. They have some darker tones, but they also have like some lovely sandy, pinky, beigey colours and that, and it went perfectly with the beach, the sand colour on my photograph. So I've used some of that to back my photograph after mounting it on some white cardstock, and that just brings it away from the page so that the blues of the photograph don't get lost on my background there. And it's literally now just a case of me playing around with some of the ephemera and tags in the collection to build my layout up. So a little bit different from me, but I really love the end effect that I got with it. So I decided to use some more of that beautiful blue Weathered Wood paper to add another layer behind my photograph, to just help fill the page out a little bit, because other than the background, it is quite minimal for me. And I'm used to doing lots of fussy cutting and bits and bobs on my layouts, but this really didn't have much fussy cutting on it at all. Really just wanted to make use of the ephemera that I got in the collection to make that work for me, and also to showcase that stencil. Like I said, I'm going to be using it on so many more layouts. I just absolutely love it. It's so versatile. So I'm glad that I did get two. I might just use one as a background sheet on some colours to give a completely different feel to the page, but I just love how you can make it your own. You could just stencil with inks or paints through it instead of applying the texture paste through it. But I really love that, the extra dimension that it gives to your layout. It's stunning. So because I'd got all of that stenciling on my page, I really didn't have much room to put my journal in. So I've used the calendar strip from the ephemera pack, and I'm going to circle the dates and the month, so that'll help me document when it was taken. And as you can see here, I'm just creating a little pocket behind my photograph and the papers that it's backed on. And then that way I can slip the little note card in, journaling card in behind, and add my journaling to there so it doesn't ruin the aesthetic of the page. So just using some double-sided sticky tape. And that's also good because it just helps stick to the texture paste that's raised from that page a little bit better than a glue would as well. Well, once I'm happy with it, securing it down, and then it's a little bit tricky to push my journaling card in because I've got the raised rainbows underneath there, but it works. And again, it just adds, just peeking out there, another little layer there. So cutting out some of the tab stickers now and using those to create the illusion of more layering behind my photograph. And continuing with the theme as well of the rainbows, there's some beautiful rainbow paper in that collection, and I didn't want to go too far away from the bluey, greyy muted tones of my background so that the photograph would still stick out. So I have stuck to those colours of the rainbows. There are a few that have got a few pinky colours in them, but I wanted to stick to that blue grey palette of my my layout there. So literally now just a case of adding a few more finishing touches. Wasn't quite sure where to put that title, Breathe, but that's going up there, and then adding a few of the word stickers to help embellish the page a little bit more, and I was there. So I hope you've enjoyed this process video. It's something a little bit different, and so excited to be able to use that great big huge die cut piece of paper from the Heidi Swapp Carefree collection. It really is beautiful and really versatile, so lots of things you could do with it, and I love the end result of this page. Thank you so much for joining me today and watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and you can find me on Instagram at Forever Scrapping. Thank you. Happy scrapping. Bye.